Okay, if you're involved with music in any way on social media, you've probably very likely seen posts where it's like, if you like X band or artist, then check out our music. You will also like them. And I mean, mm, I don't like that. I don't like that for a couple of reasons. One being that, like, if you're comparing to any band that's like bigger than you, being like, if you like this bigger band, you'll like us. That comparison is pretty much doing you no favors. And at that point, for me personally, I would just listen to the big bands. And two, I mean, it's kind of a template, right? To be like, hey, if you like these guys, you like us. It's a template, and templates are not original, and it kind of indicates to me, like, okay, if you're not willing to do something original to promote your song, I don't think there's anything original in the song itself. And that's pretty harsh, I know, because like I just don't like to do social media marketing, and I hate what it's become for music now. But I guess I just want to spend a minute like talking about originality in music, and I guess yeah. So obviously, pretty much everyone, including myself, I create music. Everyone has inspirations that have inspired them to create music at some point in their lives, if not like right at this moment. Obviously, everyone has that. They wouldn't be. I don't think people would be making music if they weren't inspired to do so. Well, ideally, at least. But what I'm saying here is like, it's good to have inspirations. It's important to have inspirations, but you can't just do what your inspirations do and expect the same result. That's kind of a tough thing to hear, but kind of what I was saying before. It's like, if I came out here and said like, okay, I want to be Metallica, or I want to be the next Metallica, or whatever, I'm always going to be compared to Metallica, and I'm just going to do a worse job because I'm not Metallica. And once again, that like really really sucks to hear. I mean, Metallica was the band that got me into like heavy metal and like heavier music and rock music in general. So for someone to be like, yeah, don't sound like them because you're going to suck if you do that. It is hard to hear. It is really hard to hear. But there's like a little thing, right? Like I said, everyone has inspiration, so let's take. I keep using Metallica as my inspiration, which I mean, sure. But if I have Metallica here, I need to bring something else, whatever it may be. It can be a different musical inspiration. It could be like a cultural inspiration. It can be literally anything else. I just have to bring something new into this already existing inspiration and kind of combine them to make something like actually novel. And rock is an old genre. Metal is an old genre. It's been around for years and years, decades and decades at this point. So I can't just be like, okay, I'm going to combine elements of Metallica, and then I'm also going to combine elements of Iron Maiden and Slayer and put these all together. It's like, no, someone's already done that before because, again, metal is a pretty old genre. Rock is a really old genre. You kind of have to be like crazy with it. You got to be like, okay, let's start with this like Metallica thrash metal sound. Okay, let's combine it with EDM and disco. How about that? What does that get us? And that's the kind of like novelty that, I mean, it's novel. It's probably not been done before. But then there's the other idea is that you can't treat that as a novelty. You gotta take it 100% sincere, 100% serious. Like, okay, we're doing disco thrash metal. We're doing it. We're not like, this is not a satire. This is not like I'm just being tongue in cheek when I do this. Like, this is how I make my art. You have to be able to do that, I think, if you want to create something like actually original. You're still using older ideas and inspiration, but the combination of those ideas and cultures and whatever, that's where the new stuff comes in. This applies to like any genre, I feel, because there's so many songs where it's like, okay, this is a good song, it's a new song, it's a good song, but I've already heard this song before. Like, what is this song bringing to the table that another song from perhaps decades ago doesn't? And even from like a business standpoint, if you think about like a product filling a market or a niche or whatever, if some band let's use Iron Maiden this time because I've said Metallica a lot, but let's say Iron Maiden fills this specific itch for listeners to enjoy, I guess. That demand or need or whatever has already been filled by Iron Maiden. So therefore, if you try to sound like Iron Maiden, you're trying to like squeeze yourself into a space that doesn't really want or need you. And I'm the furthest thing from a business person, but that is pretty bad business, I would say. And also, like I said before, it doesn't have to be like musical influences. Like I keep saying, cultural influences are huge because, I mean, you hear like bands and artists that are from like international, not from the USA. They, I just feel like, sound so different than American artists. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I don't have to like everything, but I notice that it is different than the American sound in whatever genre. But even within this country, I'm in America, right? But even within this country, the fact that like I'm not a white guy making heavy metal music, like that just brings a different perspective onto how I make my music. It just like, I mean, it seems like it doesn't matter. It seems like, you know, metal is metal. It is what it is. But the fact is that by experiencing a different experience to a lot of people who are involved in heavy metal, my music is just going to be that much more different. I'm not discouraging like anyone from making the music they want to make, but if I have this unique, or at least I think unique, perspective on the world and how I express it, I might as well take advantage of it. And you know, like talking about race and stuff is not fun, and I like to keep this channel pretty fun and decently lighthearted. But I mean, I'm not like dogging on any group of people. By the way, I'm just saying my experiences are different to the majority of heavy metal musicians who are mostly white, and that my music is gonna be different because of it. So I guess the point of this entire video is just make stuff that is made by you. No, make stuff that is like unique in your perspective, because we all have different perspectives in life. There's like a thing where someone could be in the same like vicinity, same background, same whatever general experiences and all that stuff. They grew up together in the same time period and all that stuff. But even with all that like similarity, these two people could have just very different opinions on things, and that's valuable when creating music or more broadly art. So you might as well use that. I know that like in the day and age of social media algorithms, originality just doesn't do that well because it's riskier and people are less willing to explore original thoughts because it is riskier and they don't know if it'll always pay off. But if it means anything, I guess, to anyone out there, I will always appreciate originality when it's done really well. In fact, I'd even take like a poor execution of an original idea over like a sanitized good way of doing a safe thing. That didn't make sense, but I think you understand what I'm saying. It's kind of strange to think about too, because it's so simple, right? It's so simple. Just be original. Just do something that no one else has ever done in the history of the universe. It's simple, right? It's just do something else. But it's actually incredibly hard. Simple does not mean easy. Complex does not mean hard. Which is, I mean, I guess good. You don't have to like overthink it. You just think to yourself, let's do something new. Obviously, I mean, you're gonna be inspired by your inspirations. They're gonna show in your work. I guess my rule of thumb, I don't know how many rules of thumb I've done in this video so far, but a rule of thumb, I guess, is wear your inspirations on your sleeve, don't hide them, but also bring something new to the table, and something like actually new, not just so subtle that only you know. Just bring something crazy to the table. I hope this video like didn't make anyone upset. In fact, the opposite. I hope it inspired someone to, again, just try something new and create stuff. I can't tell anyone how to make their art. I mean, if people are making art, that's a win in my book, but there you go. I guess just some food for thought. With that, I'm out. Peace.